Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet, where we talk about everything that is yarn and crochet related. So once again, I am wearing a hat that I would not normally wear, but it does have a purpose for this video. I'm doing a yarn review on the yarn that this hat was made out of. Now I do have a tutorial for this hat, and I'll put the link in the description box and also in the comments section. So this is like a flapper style. Well, you can wear it as a bucket hat, or you can, I did one of these the other day, but I did it in wool, and people wanted me to do one in acrylic. So this has some different stitches and whatnot. Or you could fold up the side, how they did it back then. It's just not my style, but like that. So yes, I have a flower on the one that's in the video, but you can do it however. I'm going to switch hats real quick because, like I said, this is not Bagoday style. Alright, much more Bagoday friendly hat. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a yarn review today on some new yarn that Joann's carries, and it's from Bauer. So it's there's two different varieties. I'm only going to be doing one because the other one's like a poofy big stuff that's not my thing. So I'm just going to be doing their basic acrylic, which is called Cozy Camp. Bauer Cozy Camp. Now I do believe this is made by it's Joann's brand of yarn. So I got a lot to say about this yarn because since I made this hat with it, so I can show you what it'll look like and stuff. Alright, so it's made with 100% recycled acrylic. It's called Bauer Cozy Camp. 229 yards or 210 meters, 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. And they classify this as a medium 4. I'll give them that. They got a good classification on that going on. I think that's a medium 4. A knitting needle, they recommend a 5mm, and crochet, they recommend a 6. That's great. That's what I use for my hat. I didn't even look at the yarn. I never look at the yarn. Now it says it's machine washable, but do not tumble dry. You put it in, you have to lay it flat to dry. Bagoday threw it in the dryer though, just to see what would happen. I do those things, I like to live dangerously. When it says to lay flat, toss it in the dryer just to see what happens. No, I did it for the purpose of this review. So this is made in Turkey. Alright, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 colors. I only got 8 of them because it canceled 2 of them for some reason. I'm not certain. But let's go ahead and go over the colors real quick. So this one is called Pacific Blue. It's very, you can see it has a wash look to it. So it's very blue jean looking. It's pretty. And then we have pumice. So that's pretty neutral. There's not too much of a heathered look to it. A bit. I guess there's some white mixed in it, but you can't really tell. It's pretty. It's pretty though. It's a pretty color. We got mauve. I definitely wouldn't call that mauve. Mauve to me is a lot darker, but to each their own. I just think that's kind of a light pink, but whatevs. They call this one mauve. Again, it's pretty, not too much washed. If you look closely, you might be able to see a bit of a wash look, but it's pretty it's not really washed. Sorry about my dog, always barking. Okay, and then the hat that I made here. I'll show you the colors that I used for the hat. So the light gray color is called this is called gray. It's appropriate. It does have a wash look to it as well. Not as prominent as some of them, but it does. You can see it. And then this one I thought was really pretty, carbon. So that's very pretty color. And then my hat, in the video you'll notice it has a rose on it. I took it off though for this, but this one's called Scarlet. It's probably my favorite. I do like the black one as well. But yes, it's a very pretty wash looking red. I like that one. And then they have two more colors that I got, but I use these for washing purposes. So this one is called Thyme. You know, like the herb. So this is knitted up on the knitting machine. It's very wash looking. And then the other one that I knitted up on the knitting machine is called Dark Marigold. Oh. So it has a wash look to it as well. You can see it very much there in that knitting pattern. Alright, so you saw all the colors and I talked about the specs. Okay. Oh, they have two more colors which they didn't send me. Paprika, so I got orange, you know, pumpkin color orange. And then I didn't get dusty blue, so it's like a medium color blue. Yeah, those are the two I didn't get. I'm not sure why, but I didn't get them. Okay, so we'll talk about the price. The price on a regular is $5.99 a ball, and that is for 229 yards of a recycled acrylic yarn. $5.99. It is on sale at the making of the video, which is $8.23, but on a rig it's $5.99. So $6 a ball for 229 yards. Okay. Well, how does it feel to me? It feels like a dad ringer for Joann's Big Twist, or their value yarn. That's what it feels like. Identical to like their value heathered yarn. So what it is, it's kind of a value acrylic that's been recycled, like a recycled value acrylic. That's what it feels like to me, like identical. It even looks like their heathered colored yarns kind of, well, you know, the color palette's different. It does have a very pretty color palette. So I did crochet with it and I made this hat. So you can see what it does have a little bit of, you can see the stitch definition, and unfortunately because it's black here you can't really see it, but there are ridges there. But the stitch definition here, you know, it shows up well. How did it crochet? Like crud. Okay, so I was making this hat. Now this hat normally would have took me about 45 minutes to crochet. It took me over 3 hours. 3 hours to crochet this. And I'll tell you why. It's because every time I would pull out more yarn, it would just come out in a big clump of it being wrapped around itself, and it was all tangled. And I'd get that untangled, and then I'd start to crochet with it, and it would split so bad. Now it has nothing to do with the hook, trust me. I know how to deal with splitting yarn. I can deal with yarn that splits. But this one was almost intolerable for me, especially this black one. It was horrible. Anyways, and then when I would need more yarn, I start to pull out again, it would just come out in a big clump of tangled mess of clumps of yarn. Now I thought, well, maybe that's just a fluke, you know, maybe it's just one ball. No, it wasn't just one ball. It did it with the black, it did it with the gray. Then I did these on my knitting machine. It did it with the yellow, and it did it with the green. And I did use the red, and it didn't do it with the red. It came out clean with the red. But 4 out of 5 clumps of knots, just not really knots, just tangles of, it's like a wadded tangle mess, and you just have to, when you start to pull on it and then it starts to knot up, and you know, it's just so frustrating. I'm going to insert, and normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to insert a clip. This is an outtake, okay, of me recording the tutorial for this hat. All right. Sometimes I leave my camera rolling, right? And then I edit it later. This is an outtake that I left out of the video, of course, but I thought maybe it would be beneficial for those of you who are interested in this yarn. Here it is. This yarn is crap. I am so mad. This yarn is horrible. What is wrong with you? Every time I pull, it comes out knots. I can't take it. It splits so bad. I'm not buying this again. I'm not ever buying this again. Okay, I'm sorry that you had to see that. But sometimes Bagoday gets frustrated. Especially with yarn like that. Like I said, it wasn't just one ball. It was 4 out of the 5 that I used. Alright, now, when I did wash it, as per instructions, and I washed one and laid it out flat to dry, and then I washed one and put it in dryer, you know, just to see what would happen. So this one I washed and I laid it flat to dry. It didn't really, you know, fuzzed up a bit, didn't do much of anything, and it feels the same as it does in the ball. Now this one I washed and I put it in the dryer. I used laundry soap and liquid fabric softener on this, laid it flat to dry as per instructions. Now this one I used laundry soap, liquid fabric softener, and then I put it in the dryer with a dryer sheet. It is softer now. A lot softer. It's a soft yarn now. But this is what it looks like after the dryer. There's no difference. It looks the same as it did whether I put it in the dryer or whether I laid it flat. It's just softer now. Will it, over time, putting it in the dryer, wear and tear on it? Possibly. There has to be a reason why they said to lay it flat to dry. I don't know the reason, but I can tell you, just like right now from my personal experience, one of these was put in the dryer, one was not. They look exactly the same, except for this one is like 10 times softer than this one. Still feels like it came straight out of the ball, the same. All right. So there's the wash and dry test. And then you saw what it looked like crocheted. You saw what it looked like knitted up. You saw everything about it. You already know what I'm going to say about the yarn. But remember, no, regardless of what I say, you can leave all the hate you want in the comments. Please, just don't email me any hate. These are opinion-based reviews. The only thing factual is what I read to you off the screen right now that I'm telling you that is showing at Joann's, you know, like the specs and whatnot. The rest is only opinion-based. And my opinion can be very different from yours. So, as you can probably tell, I do not like the yarn. I do not like it at all. It splits horribly. It does not crochet well. In 4 out of the 5 balls that I used, this came out was so frustrating, man. I was sitting here on the knitting machine and it just kept coming out. It tangled messes, and I'd unknot it, and then 2 feet more, it's just another tangled mess. I'm like, what in the world is going on? This sucks. And then they want $6 a ball on a regular basis just because it says Eddie Bauer. I'll buy Joann's Big Twist. I mean, it's probably the same yarn, but I don't know. It could be. I don't know about yarn companies anymore. Sometimes I think they use the same yarn and just strap another label on it. But I never really noticed Joann's coming out in big clumps of just tangled messes. It's so frustrating that it makes you never ever want to buy the yarn again. Now I can say that I am not the only one who's tried this yarn and had this problem with it. I've seen multiple reports of the same problems of splitting and it coming out and just knotted messes that makes you so frustrated that you don't even want to crochet with it. Plus it's overpriced. It's overpriced value acrylic yarn. So I won't buy it again, but that doesn't mean you can't. Because just because it's not my forte doesn't mean it can't be yours. So I always recommend. I mean, it did turn a nice hat, but it did take me 3 hours longer than it should have, honestly, because of the tangles and whatnot I had to deal with, and the splitting was just intolerable. Anyways, it made a nice project in the end, you know. But anyways, just because I don't like it don't mean that you won't. So go to Joann's, like today's 8/8/2023, like I said, it's on sale. Buy one ball, give it a go, because you never know, it could be the best yarn that you've ever had in your entire life. Just because I'm not going to buy it again doesn't mean that you can't, because everybody has different opinions, and that's okay. That's what makes the world go around, and that's what makes everything so interesting. But if you've tried it already, let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, I'm gonna go. If I had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it a 2. All right, I'll see you guys on my next video. Okay, remember, don't email me any hate comments. You can leave me hate comments in the comment section. Just don't email them to me. They get depressing then. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye, guys. Take care.